Hello, and welcome to our podcast, Ephesians Verse by Verse, brought to you by co-founder of Telios, Dr. William Stewart. This captivating podcast will not only teach you the book of Ephesians, which tells us so much about Christ and his mission, as well as our Christian walk, but it will teach you how to study the Bible, so you can have confidence in what you learn. Episodes will provide key points for each important verse of the book of Ephesians. Thanks for joining us on this exciting biblical journey.
Hello again, I'm William Stewart. Welcome back to this verse by verse study on the book of Ephesians. Written by Paul to the church in Ephesus, a major Christian center in the first several generations after the time of Christ. Ephesus is located in southwest Turkey, and the ruins are there today. This book encompasses so much in a very efficient way about Christ and the plan of salvation and our Christian walk. We're starting today on verse 4, which is a section talking about our great salvation and its characteristics. It's a creep, gives so much good stuff here between verses 4 and 14. Remember, verses 1 to 2 are an introduction, and verse 3 in chapter 1 is a summary statement of from where the blessings come from in verses 4 to 14. So in verse 4, Paul begins, according as he hath chosen us in him before the foundation of the world, that we should be holy and without blame before him in love. Now, what's all this mean? Power pack verse. So before the foundation of the world, we don't know exactly when that is. Scripture never describes it, and it's left to the reader. Probably most people would assume that it's before Genesis 1:1. Point being that the plan of salvation was made a long time ago, really before anything else. Now, what happened at that time? Well, God chose us. The word here is basically from the word to speak and ek, out of. And it literally means in the Greek, the original language of the New Testament, eklegomai. It means to choose. So God chose us before the foundation of the world. Now, this could be a controversial topic. So why did God have to choose? And some people don't think that they liked the fact that God had to choose and didn't choose others. Well, it's pretty clear from Scripture that from I would say especially from Romans 3, verses 10 to 18, and Ephesians 2, verses 1 to 3, that man in a uniform way, having fallen through sin, through Adam, what's often called total depravity, excuse me, would never choose God. Verses 10 to 12 in Romans 3 says, no man does good. Nobody seeks after God. Nobody understands. So the brute facts are that if God did not choose, nobody would choose him. So it's only out of his mercy, as it says at the end of the verse, his love, that he chose some to represent him on earth through the church. And historically, God always had to choose. He had to choose Noah, Abraham, Moses. He's always had to choose somebody who would represent him because man does not choose God. Now, what did he choose us to? Well, to be holy and blameless in him. So who's the him here? Well, him is Christ because he's the agent that God uses to accomplish his will of salvation. So is by him or in him, through him, using the preposition en in Greek, could be read in this way. So it's by Christ's death on the cross, we take from other verses, and our acceptance of him by faith alone, Ephesians 2, verses 8 and 9, that we then are stand blameless before him without sin. Now, importantly, from Romans 3:21 to 26, we understand that we're righteous before him, dikaios. This is a Greek term, dikaios, meaning legally innocent, like in the court of law, that we are found innocent legally and cannot be found guilty again. Another judicial term, no double jeopardy. The Greeks and Romans understood this concept. No double jeopardy once we're found innocent. So we stand holy and blameless before God without sin because Christ died for us and covered our sin, took the punishment for our sin. So we would have that status of innocence before God. And he says he did this in love. Wow, that's for sure. What a loving thing to do. Now, the word here for love is also important. One of the most important words in the New Testament is agape love. There were three words in Greek for love: eros for erotic, philos, brotherly love, and agape had a variety of meanings, including a giving, selfless love, a love meant for the other person in mind, doing good for them. And it was really the New Testament that defined this love, type of love, for Greek culture and Western culture. So agape love is love with the other person in mind. For the Christian, we know we love, agape love, other people when we're obedient to God. 1 John 5, verses 2 and 3. Okay, important verse. What have we learned? This is the first verse covering the blessings of our salvation. First, we know that God chose us out of love, those who believe. And in choosing us, we stand before him through the blood of Christ, which we take from other verses. But in this verse, we know that we're sinless before him. There's no sin charged to our account. God did all this in love. And importantly, in this passage from verses 4 to 14, we understand much of the attitude that God had in bringing us salvation. And the first point he brings here is that he did it out of love, what was good for us. Okay, thanks for joining me today. Join us next time. We'll cover verses 5 and 6. Good stuff. I hope you've learned from it, and I hope you'll come back for the following videos. Bye-bye for now.
Thanks for listening to this episode of Ephesians Verse by Verse. We hope you found Dr. Stewart's teachings both interesting and informative. Join us next time for another exciting episode in Ephesians. To listen to all episodes, please visit our website, teliosresearch.com. TELEIOSRESEARCH. Thank you.